Hello again, race fans, and welcome to another edition here of The Look Ahead, presented by Marathon Petroleum. My name is Mike Mallett, and this is the biggest edition of Look Ahead today, as we are going to chat all things CNY Speedweek here for the Empire Super Sprints. Now, this wouldn't be a show, me just talking about 5 races and 5 different tracks and all that all by myself. It's not that much fun. So I decided to bring in a special guest for this edition, and without further ado, Adam Buchanan, the voice of the Empire Super Sprints. Welcome to your first edition of the Look Ahead.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Mike. Anytime I get the chance to talk sprint cars with local sprint car aficionado like yourself, it's a good time. So
aficionado, did you have to look the definition of that word up or what?
Yeah, it's the word of the day, so we're rolling with it.
So we're here, Adam. Obviously, this week we start 5 nights of racing action here on Wednesday night. We kick it off at the Can-Am Speedway on July the 3rd. To give you a little background for the race fans at home watching, admission's $25 for those in the stands, and then the pit admission is $40 and $45. Spectator gates open at 4 o'clock, hot laps at 6, racing starts at 7 p.m. And that's the PAP shootout. So also on deck for that one will be the Dirt Car 350 Modified Series, as well as the Dirt Car Sportsman Series. So a nice little way to kick off Speed Week. So Adam, let's talk a little bit about Can-Am. And I did some research here like I do each year for Speed Week, and Can-Am has always been the outlier. It's been the weird one where there's not one guy you can say has been dominant over the last few seasons.
Yeah, last year's edition of the Speed Week, it looked like at the PAP shootout for this event, it looked like Sean Donath had it won and ended up hitting the wall late and broke the race car and still came home with a podium finish. But this event, you just roll the dice. It is just the nasty track of the North for a reason, and pick anybody on the roster. If there's a night where someone could win it that you wouldn't expect, opening night of Speed Week might be that night.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some different drivers win. I went back and looked. As I said, I write a prediction story. So each year I look and see who won it. The only driver to repeat here at Speed Week has been Paulie Colagiovanni. He won it in 2019 and 2021. So that's the only time we've had a repeat winner of Speed Week at Can-Am. So, I've been fortunate that, Dirt Track Digest TV streams Can-Am Speedway weekly, and the racing there has been fantastic. I mean, Tim Fuller's, been fast, won a couple of races, but none of it's come from the front row. I mean, he's coming from deep in the field, making passes, and the track's been wide, it's been racy. So again, as you said, it's kind of unpredictable. So as I say, unpredictable, let's make some predictions just for fun. Again, this is fun for fun, and see how close we can get. Now, I'm usually the kiss of death to your racing career during Speed Week. If I pick you, it is not a good thing for you, not good at all. So I'll let you pick Can-Am first.
Can-Am, I'm going to go with the guy who probably should have won it last year, Sean Donath. He's been hit or miss this season. Sean's been on the podium. He's also had bad nights. It seems to be Can-Am, however. He's got his son racing in the 305s there. He might know the track a little bit better than most rolling into the night. He had a good performance last year, but the track was really tacky last year. It rained, for those who didn't remember. We had a rainstorm right before the race. It was super tacky. I don't think that's going to be this Can-Am. Can-Am starts off tacky and it slicks up through the end of the night. That's where Sean really shines. I'm going to pick Sean Donath for Can-Am.
All right, good pick. I'm going to go for back-to-back winners just because I said it hasn't happened. I think it's time that it does happen, as I'm going to pick Jordan Poirier. Jordan Poirier has yet to win this season. He's the defending series champion. He won the last year's event. It's his time. It's time. I mean, when's the last time you saw him go this many races without finding his way to victory lane? So I'm going to go with Jordan Poirier to kick off Speed Week with a win at Can-Am Speedway. And again, there'll be more to that story as we get to the end of this prediction show. So that's Can-Am Speedway. Then on Thursday night, we head over to my former stomping ground, the Utica-Rome Speedway, and that is going to be on Thursday. Again, that's the Bill Shea Memorial for the Modifieds, along with the Empire Super Sprints. Let me just come on down here, find my info page. Adult admission for that one is $25. Pits $40-$45. Spectator gates open at 4. Hot laps at 6. Racing at 7. Pretty standard times here for the week. Can-Am, you can watch on Dirt Track Digest TV. This one will be on Flow Racing, so you can watch it there. So Utica-Rome Speedway, Adam, has produced a handful of winners, but there's some certain guys that are pretty dominant at Utica-Rome.
Indeed, it has, and I believe last year Matt Farnham had won one of the Utica-Rome events. If I can rack my brain,
Yeah, he won
as far as
on 9-9. Yep.
on 9-9. Yep. So he's been doing a lot more 410 stuff this year. So whether he'll be there is another thing. I have an idea of who's going to win this race, but since you were gracious enough to let me pick Can-Am, I'll let you pick who you think is going to win at Utica-Rome first.
I bet you I take your pick.
You might have the same pick.
I bet you I take your pick because I'm going to go with Danny Varon because Danny Varon has won 3 out of the last 6 races at Utica-Rome Speedway and Empire Super Sprint competition. He also won a 410 show there, so it's hard to pick against Danny Varon at Utica-Rome. That is his track. All right, so my bold prediction for Thursday night is Danny Varon's going to make it 4 out of 7 at Utica-Rome.
Yeah, that's going out on a limb there, Mike.
Hey,
yes,
for a guy my size, that's a really big limb that I got to go out on.
yeah, I'm right there with you. So, I mean, you nailed it. Danny Varon's the tough guy to beat at the Utica-Rome Speedway. He's got a 410 win there. You mentioned it. He's just dynamite there. I would expect nothing less. And Danny Varon's going to roll into the pits, the man to beat. Everybody in the pit area knows that. If something happens to Danny, then it opens it up a little bit. I got 2 people in mind. I'm thinking Barney, but I'm going to go with Davey Franek. No panic, Davey Franek has looked good at Utica-Rome at times. He's got the experience on those big tracks. Look for Davey Franek to pick up the win.
Yeah, and he does have wins at Utica-Rome. I believe Coal Cup victory from a couple of years ago.
Yep.
All right, he does have a Coal Cup victory. Also won during Speedweek back in 2022. So Davey Franek, not a bad sleeper pick, not a bad guy to keep your eyes on. All right, so let's head to your favorite racetrack, your Friday night home here, the Brewerton Speedway. Fan admission, $25. 18 and under are free. Pits, same price, $40-$45. Race time is going to be right around 7 o'clock. Hot laps rolling at 5:50 for that program. It is not live streamed, but you'll be able to catch the replay on DirtTrackDigest.tv. So, Adam, let's talk Brewerton this year. Brewerton has been phenomenal. The racing's been great. We've had some different winners, and I know the last time the Empire Super Sprints were there, it was slippery, and that kind of fits certain guys' driving styles more than others.
Absolutely, but as you say that, it has been different the last 3 weeks at Brewerton. I have a lot of modified drivers telling me it's old Brewerton, where there's a bottom, but the top is there. 2 weeks back, it was top dominant. Everybody was running the cushion. And then the very next week, it was greasy. You could slide top to bottom, bottom to top. A lot of people were getting runs off the bottom of turn 2. And, that's how you were making moves. So it really depends what kind of Brewerton we're going to get because it has legitimately changed from week to week. And if you can roll the bottom there and it's there, especially off of 2, you're going to make some moves. And the guy that is the best at doing that is Jason Barney in the 87. Now, if he can get out of his own head there for a minute, and because he's the hardest driver on himself, I don't understand. If Jason can just get out of his own mind and just drive the race car, he'll be the man to beat each and every week. But he's just so hard and critical on himself.
Let's be fair, Brewerton means a lot. He lives around the corner. Yeah. All the folks from E&V Energy, Pit Stop Convenience Stores, they're all going to be there. All the family is there. And again, that's the place he probably puts the most pressure on himself, which makes it the most difficult. So you get it, right? I mean, everybody wants to win in front of the hometown crowd.
Yeah, and he's the one where I see a lot of drivers, especially going into turn 1, because how sharp it is. A lot of people try to hit the bottom, and they miss it by a lane. He is able to slow the car down in such a way where he can get that run off a 2 in a sprint car, and he just picks up spot after spot. So
is that your pick?
I'll go first this time. Jason Barney's my pick for Brewerton.
Okay,
and I'm going by the opportunity to give him the kiss of death either.
Yeah, so well, look, that's fine. I mean, look, I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go a guy that's won 3 out of the last 4 Speed Week shows at Brewerton. Do you know who that is, Adam?
Larry White.
That's correct. All right. I went full softball with my picks. Did not go bold. Did not go crazy. If you want to read the story about this, it will be posted on Dirt Track Digest on Tuesday, just around the same time as this video. And also, you'll be able to find all the information we're talking about on Dirt Track Digest. Probably should have mentioned that at the beginning, but just to give you an idea, I'm going Larry White. I mean, come on. How do you not pick Larry at Brewerton? He hasn't won there yet this year, but I mean, there was 2 guys I was thinking. It was either him or Danny Varon, because Danny Varon, as good as he is as Utica, he's equally as good at
Just as good at
Brewerton. He
Brewerton.
has 6 career victories at Brewerton and Empire Super Sprint
He won there
competition. So it was
earlier
like
in
kind
the
of a toss-up between the two. So I went with Larry White on
He's
that
won
one.
early there in the year. If you can correct me there, he won the last Brewerton race.
Yep.
And Larry
Memorial
White
Day.
was coming on late. Larry
Larry
started
got second.
deep in that field, and he finished on the podium. So Larry in a sprint car doesn't get in there much. I would love to see Larry White run all Speedweek because I honestly think he would contend for the Speedweek championship. Now, I know he's got other commitments. He's
Right.
a workhorse during the week. Is running a business, so I understand it. But when Larry hops behind the wheel of that sprint car, I'll tell this to the day I die. He's a natural-born sprint car driver.
Yeah.
He's
And
a
again,
great
he's got some
modified
help.
driver. Yep.
He's got some help
He's
from
a
Anthony
solid
Knighton.
sprint car driver.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and Anthony Knighton behind him, a sprint car guy that used to be on the road with the modern-day cowboy Darren Clayton, one rookie of the Nationals as a crew chief. He's got some knowledge backing him up and helping him get that sprint car around the racetrack. All right, Saturday night we go to the Fulton Speedway. Admission $25, pits $40-$45. Spectator gates open at 5. Hot laps 5:45. Race time is 7 p.m. Also on the docket, the Dirt Car 358 Modified, Dirt Car Sportsman, Hobby Stocks, and Novice Sportsman. That one is not live streamed, but the replay will be available on DirtTrackDigest.tv. So since it's my turn, Adam, to go first here, and again we talk Fulton, and you talked about him with our last one, and there's one guy that has been dominant at Fulton Speedway here as of late with the Empire Super Sprints, and it's Jason Barney. I mean, he's got 11 career victories at Fulton Speedway in Empire Super Sprint competition. He trails one driver, Gordy Button. Gordy Button has 12 career victories at Fulton Speedway with ESS, and I'm going to go out on a limb again here. Again, going with my gut, going with my, hey, I can't be wrong. It's going to be Jason Barney, and Jason's already going to hate me for doing this because every time I pick him, I already warned him. I warned him ahead of time. I told him already I was picking him on Saturday, so fair game here. But I'm going to go with Jason Barney. Jason, as you talked about Brewerton, all that pressure on himself, he comes into Fulton just so strong. Fulton is his home track, another one of his home tracks, a place where he's turned thousands of laps, whether it be sportsman modified, whichever. So Fulton, the home speedway, and the confidence is rolling. I mean, Jason has won 4 of the last 5 Empire Super Sprint races at Fulton Speedway. The only one to beat him in that stretch, the Honey Badger, Sammy Reeks the 4th. So I got to pick my man Jason Barney on this one, just because he's hot. And the confidence is rolling. Everything is looking right coming into Fulton on Saturday night for Jason Barney.
Absolutely. We talk about how Danny Barron's the top guy to beat at Utica, and you're going if your path to victory lane at Utica is going through Danny Barron. That's the same thing for Jason Barney over at the Fulton Speedway. He was on rails all year last year at the Fulton Speedway. He continued. He's got a win already this year at the Fulton Speedway. He is definitely coming in the man to beat once you roll into the pits at Fulton. Now, I'm going to flip the script a little bit. If this guy can qualify good at a track he notoriously does not qualify good at, and he finished on the podium earlier here this year at a race at Fulton Speedway, he will win at Fulton. Who do you think that is?
I'm not sure.
Jordan Poirier.
Okay, all right. You know what?
Well,
I should have thought about
he
that.
was on the podium. Yep. So my pick for Fulton would be Jordan Poirier.
And I feel like Fulton for Jordan is hit or miss because he has had some really good runs at Fulton Speedway, and he's had some really, really bad luck at Fulton Speedway.
Yeah. So Jason in the last race, if you want to go on DirtTrackDigest.tv and watch the replay of that, Jason Barney thread the needle in turns 3 and 4. I mean, you couldn't stick a nickel between the Ute tire, Jason's race car, and then I will give a quarter length between Jason's race car and Jordan's race car. The move that Jason put on him to win that race ultimately at the end of the night was probably one of the best passes I've seen for the win at the high banks of the Fulton Speedway. So Jason will be tough to beat. Jordan was so close last time. Look for him to get over the hump and get it done on Thursday.
There it is.
Or Saturday.
Now we go to the tough one. The Weedsport Speedway. For the first time, or actually for the second time, Weedsport Speedway is going to be the kicker to Central New York Speedweek. It will be the finale. So from information on that one, it'll be $35 grandstand ticket. Pits are $40-$45. Spectator gates open at 5 o'clock. Race time is 7 o'clock. And that is joined by the Dirt Car 358 Modified Series. So a 2-division program. Streaming is available through DirtTrackDigest.tv. Now, I looked through the history of Weedsport Speedway with the Empire Super Sprints. there have been 37 events run, 30 different winners. The most all time is Danny Varon with 3. That's it. Like most tracks, it's like 6, 8, 10. No, Weed Sport, the most any driver's been able to accumulate is 3. So Adam, I believe this is your choice first. So who you going to go with?
So Weed Sport in a sprint car is a notoriously tough place to pass. I believe the last time they were there, if you qualified well, you finished well. One driver that I did see a number of passes being completed, again, is the 53 of Sean Donoff. Now, am I going to pick Sean? It's tough. I also like Matt Tanner here a little bit. I think my dark horse there is Jordan Thomas. But I'm going to go out and say the Speedweek Championship is going to be close this year. A lot of drivers might be a little conservative, but I think Sean Donoff gets it done. I'll pick Sean.
You know what really sucks about that is, I did all the research, looked at the stats, and I have, Larry White's been very good there. Danny Varon's been very good there. And then I went a totally, completely different direction. The one pick that I went out on a limb and picked someone else, and I picked Sean Donoff. So now you've stolen my pick. So now I got to kind of think about this one for a minute. One guy we didn't talk about much is Matt Tanner. You mentioned Matt Tanner. I think Matt Tanner, maybe this is his time to shine. He used to be notoriously good on these super slippery racetracks, places like Can-Am, like Utica-Rome, etc. So I'll go with Matt Tanner since you took my pick, Sean Donoff. My other thought was going to be Matt Tanner. And last time I picked Matt Tanner, he was not happy with me, so that's why I kind of stayed away from Matt. But I'm going to go with Matt Tanner here at Weed Sport. So now we've got our kind of predictions here. Let's look back and let's talk about who the champion's going to be, and I'll give you a history of the championship. The first one was run back in 2013. Mikel Parent, blast from the past, was the winner. Jason Barney secured his first Speedweek championship back in 2014. Then it was back-to-back 15 and 16 to Steve Poirier. Then back-to-back 17-18 for Danny Varon. 2019 was Paulie Colagiovanni. 2021, Jason Barney. 2022, Davey Franick. And 2023, Paulie Colagiovanni got his second Speedweek championship. So with all that said, there's one guy on the list, and since I get to pick this one first, there's one guy on this list that doesn't have a Speedweek championship, and I think it's the one thing with ESS, in his brief career that he's lacking. He's been second the last 2 seasons, so I'm going with Jordan Poirier to win the Speedweek championship. Again, it's crazy to think that he doesn't have it, considering he's got the titles, here with ESS, the title with ESS, and he doesn't have that Speedweek title to go with it. So I would expect, this is my guy, I'm going to go with Jordan Poirier to end up as the 2024 CNY Empire Super Sprint Speedweek champion.
Right, and that's a fantastic pick. 2-time and defending series champion. He's a heck of a consistent driver. Very rarely does he have a bad night, and he does not have a Speedweek championship yet, so that is a solid pick. That was my pick, so I'm glad.
I got you.
So because you took Jordan, I think the Speedweek champion will be Danny Varon. Danny Varon is another guy who's wildly consistent. You can put money on that he will finish in probably the top 5 to 7 in each and every one of these tracks. He's that capable. In doing so, I think Danny Varon will be our Speedweek champion here this year. And I'll go out on a limb and say because Danny finishes first, he's going to narrowly beat out Jordan. So Jordan's going to finish second 2 years in a row. And then for the podium spot, I'll have Jason Barney in the 3rd spot for my Speedweek.
Well, there. So now Jason can't be mad at us because we're not putting any pressure on him if we're picking him to finish 3rd. So if he does win the title, then he can go back and thank us for not picking him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Adam, I appreciate taking a few minutes here on this edition of The Look Ahead presented by Marathon Petroleum. It's been a great time having you with us here, and we might have to do this more now that we kind of got it figured out how to get this done. This has been a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want to talk sprint cars, I'd be happy to join you. So maybe we should make this more of a reoccurring episode. And I look forward to Speed Week. To talk about Speed Week, it started off as just, hey, let's try this, see if it sticks. And now I honestly think in the central New York area, sprint cars are starting to take off. And I think a lot of race fans circle this week as something they have to attend to on the calendar. And there isn't a bad racetrack in the bunch. We're going to expect high car counts each week at each racetrack. So I'm really looking forward to it. And like you said, if you can't get to the racetrack, you can catch all of the action on DirtTrackDigest.tv or Flow Racing on Thursday night at Utica. But be there. You won't want to miss it. It's one of the best weeks in Central New York racing in general. So I hope everybody comes out there and enjoys themselves some sprint car racing.
One of my favorite things when I was a tour announcer was always to have everybody raise their hand. How many have been to one night? How many have been to 2 nights? How many have been to 3? How many have been to 4? How many have been to 5? And I was always amazed on that final night how many people had made it to all 5 shows. Starting out of the week at Can-Am, and it used to end at Utica-Rome, then it ends at Weedsport. But how many people were able to make it to all 5 of those shows? So it's definitely a special week. It's a great week. It's a ton of fun. And if you get the chance after the races, go into the pits, talk to the drivers of the Empire Super Sprints. They're going to be hanging out every night. Most of them are staying.
They love it.
Yeah, they're staying local, so this is your opportunity. Also, if you look over my shoulder, you can see we will have Empire Super Sprint Central New York Speedweek T-shirts this year. So if you want to pick up one of those, you can get one of those from my mom, who runs the novelty stand. I'm just saying, not to shout out to you, Mom.
Hi,
all right. But no, those are in. Those are hot off the presses from our friends at Bob Hilbert Sportswear. So if you want to take home a collector's edition, there's a limited supply, so those will be available. So Adam, thanks, brother. I'll wrap it up from here, my man.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for inviting me, Mike, and hope to see you around here this week.
So there he is, race fans. Adam Buchanan. Again, thanks to Adam for coming on here and taking in the program. So that's a wrap here on this edition of The Look Ahead, presented by Marathon Petroleum. So if you're looking for more information about the Empire Super Sprints, visit EmpireSuperSprints.com. On Facebook, Empire Super Sprints. On Twitter, @ESSprints. Twitter X, @ESSprints, @ESSprints. Also on Instagram, Empire Super Sprints. And of course, if you're looking for the info guide or our prediction story, check out DirtTrackDigest.com. So for Adam Buchanan, I'm Mike Mallett. Folks, have a great day.